I'm azrienoch. This is XDA Developer TV, and
you don't know it.
But these are the voices in my head.
Some of you may remember back in January, I talked about the DMCA and how exemptions are renewed every 3 years. The goal was to get the same protections for tablets as we had for smartphones when it comes to rooting and jailbreaking. Well, the Library of Congress, the ones who decide on what's exempt and to what extent, announced their list. Now, some people say that I am not a happy camper. I'm always angry, there's no satisfying me. Bull. I'm happy with this round of exemptions, and if an organization as bloated and dysfunctional as the United States government can make me happy now and again, so can smartphone manufacturers. But I am a contrary little bastard. And if I thought that the world said things just fine without me, well, I'd be the quietest person in that world. So here I am, being louder than perfectly quiet, saying if you read about the DMCA exemptions without reading the DMCA exemptions, you're doing it wrong. And if you report on the DMCA exemptions with the same habits, you're even wronger. The source for all this wrong talk, as far as I can tell, is Timothy B. Lee's article on Ars Technica. The article is titled Jailbreaking, now legal for smartphones, but not tablets, which is wrong. It's not true. The EFF since released an article bemoaning the decision as well, but it's the EFF. Love them, but they're just angry that they didn't get exactly what they asked for. At least they had the decency to not spread misinformation while bitching about it. So first, let me tell you a secret about the DMCA. It's not a law. It's a protection. If you own copyrighted works in a digital format, here's how you're protected. Oh, someone used your work? Here's how you're protected. You can sue them for this here. Oh, but there are some places where you're not protected, so you can't sue them for that. There. You can sue them, and you want to? That's fine. Oh, so you could sue them, but you don't want to. That's fine too. Not law. Okay, Jeff, it's a bit semantic, but what if they wanted to sue me because I rooted my tablet? You're fine. You're fine. Do it. You're protected. Here's why the Library of Congress didn't include tablets, and this is from Section 3B if you want to follow along. The proposed exemption is unnecessary and beyond the scope of the rulemaking because Section 1201F of the Copyright Act already defines the contours of acceptable circumvention related to interoperability. Our goal was to get the same protections for tablets as we had for smartphones, and that is exactly what we got. To bring this down to a level even Timothy B. Lee of Ars Technica can understand, you ask your mommy if you can have a cookie, and she says yes. And then you ask if it has to be chocolate chip, or if you can have an Oreo instead. And she's your mom, she loves you, but she's busy and says, I don't care. She's already said you could have a cookie. No, smartphones don't get any more explicit protection than tablets. In fact, the half of the story that Ars Technica didn't report is that they rejected a definition of smartphones as well. It's not that there are certain hardware configurations where copyright magically does or doesn't apply. It's all simply too similar from a legal perspective. They denied the distinction, not the protection. The DMCA calls them all wireless devices. Hell, that means flip phones can be rooted. And walkie-talkies. Imagine that. Intentionally ambiguous yet beneficially efficient language. That is how to talk right. And I challenge you to talk better. So again, I'm azrienoch, and this is XDA Developer TV. And before I go, I'd like to leave you with this little message from our dear friend, The Flash.
Never, ever trust this guy. Because he's brewing and he's thinking of ways to get off.